This last week, I finally left the Tahoe area, pushed out by a snowstorm heading for the mountains. Unsure of my next destination, I clung to familiarity and ended up, as I always do, back in Alabama Hills. But this time was a little bit different. This time, I was on my way to make my first van life friend. I'm excited for the next week. I have some big plans, but first, a couple of days of chillness. My last morning in Tahoe, it was undeniable that a storm was brewing. The wind was wild, howling as it blew leaves, dust, and rocks across the roads. Oh my god, just push. Just go. I can't even explain to you guys how out of shape that made me feel. Straight back. And now this gets put back in its home. Got it. Wait, what? Okay. I filled this container with a bunch of swampy water. Do I care if I get oatmeal in my hair? No, not really. So here's what's happening in my neck of the woods. There's a storm coming. Snowstorm here in Tahoe. I don't want to deal with a snowstorm. There might be road closures, and if there's road closures, I might get stuck somewhere. So in hopes of staying unstuck, I am escaping. Then let's go. At 5:30 sharp, I hit the road. I knew I had a long drive ahead of me, and I was trying to avoid driving in the dark as much as I could. I only passed by a handful of cars the first few hours. The mountains I'd found myself in were clearly uninhabited, and the only town I passed through had gas that was $5.30. Yikes. Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? I am getting really anxious because, okay, let me back up. When I went home this last time around, and by home I mean my hometown, I went home with the goal of getting fully vaccinated, and I reached that goal, thankfully. And the reason I got fully vaccinated was so that I could hit the road again and meet people. Before I got vaccinated, I knew that even if I could meet somebody, it was gonna be weird. However, what I didn't anticipate was that, holy crap, this area is freaking beautiful. What I couldn't anticipate was the fact that getting back on the road with the goal of meeting people was going to make me feel like a failure if I couldn't meet people. You see what I'm saying? Where am I? And how can I buy a piece of land here? I totally just lost my train of thought. I have been messaging a few girls on the road, and I think it's interesting to talk about this because it feels like we all have the same issue. It's like we all get on the road looking for other solo women, but you don't just stumble upon other solo women. Like, it's really difficult to meet people, and therefore you kind of have to use social media. I'm sure if all women gatherings were back, that would be a completely different story, but they're not. It seems like it's a lot of our goals, like our number one priority is, why did I say that so weird? Priority. It's very normal to hear like stories of solo female travelers having traveled for 6 months without meeting anybody, and that's so sad. Is that a hot spring? The earth is just steaming. I don't think it's very easy to understand how lonely it is until you do it. Like, this lifestyle is so lonely. Like, truly, I'm not even upset about it anymore. I can feel the loneliness, but I'm so used to it. Like, I'm so used to it. And then that leads me to why I turned the camera on in the first place. I feel like all of my social skills are gone. Like, how do you even hold a conversation after a whole year of not having any conversation? I think the last time I hung out with people was last March. I'm tired. Anyways, these mountains are gosh dang gorgeous. The drive ended up being one of the most scenic drives I'd ever seen, with incredible mountain views the first few hours, followed by a Death Valley-like biome, the pink mountains pairing so well with the fiery sunset. As the sun disappeared, I started to worry about wildlife on the roads, so when a rest area appeared, filled with lights and noise from a dozen big rigs and their generators, I jumped at the chance to rest my head for the night. Hello! Oh look, my window's closed for the first time in like a week. I'm at a rest area and I'm gonna sleep here because there's a lot of people here, a lot of truckers, a lot of campers too. So I feel very safe and I feel like I'm gonna sleep well tonight, even throughout the generators running all night. I'll just turn on my fan. It'll be a-okay. Anyways, I think I'm gonna make a dinner of, what am I gonna make? I'll probably make potatoes and eggs and onions and Brussels sprouts. Anyways, it was nice chatting with you guys, nice hanging out, and I will see you guys in the morning. That's a good coffee. Good morning, everybody. No longer at the rest stop. I drove to Bishop. I got a jalapeno cheese bagel, and it is the size of my face. As I drove the rest of the way to the hills, I hopped on a call with Maddie Taylor, a girl who lives in a van with her dog, Eliza, who just so happened to be in Southern California. As we chatted on the phone, we made plans to meet the next day, and as the call ended, I found myself feeling like I was in a dream. After 2 years of owning the van, after 6 months of solo van life, here I was with my first plan to meet someone. It did feel pretty damn good, I have to say. Everybody that drives around here does the so fiercely. We're in the hills. Anybody who's surprised by this is clearly new. Holy crap, it's really windy.
I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way.
Welcome to my cave.
I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day.
I spent my evening reading, cleaning, sanding my counter, just doing everything in my power to distract myself from overthinking the next day.
Try to fix what happened broken. And take this weight off my shoulders.
I spent about an hour making a dinner of potatoes, shallots, Brussels sprouts, walnuts, cheese, and eggs. It was pretty damn good. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Look at this view behind me. Leftovers. I want to go back here. And as my night wound down, my head started to go into overdrive. I found myself worrying about the next day, worried about the lack of socializing I'd done in the last year, worried that I'd make a complete fool of myself. Safe to say I did not sleep well at all. Good morning, everybody. I'm really nervous. So nervous that my stomach feels really bad. It feels like when you have to go to the airport at like 3 in the morning and you're really hungry, but you're kind of too nauseous to eat. And so you're just stuck in tandem for a couple of hours. It's all gonna be okay. I just am worried that my social skills are just poof. Guess what? She arrived and we started chatting. My nerves loosened as our dogs got acquainted, and before I knew it, the sun was setting. We were parked with our doors facing each other up in the hills, and for the first time since I bought the van, I felt like I'd finally arrived at the place I'd been trying to find for so long. Turns out it wasn't a place after all. Who would have thought? Oh, and Maddie, you'll meet her next week. I think you'll like her.
She will do anything for the human food. Do you want to show off?
Oh.
Can you do a spit?
Oh, good girl.
Do you know the spit? Oh, that's not exactly what we're talking about.
Oh my god.
You want to do up? Okay, sit. Okay, sit.
Okay.